everybody, welcome into another monthly favorites video, Best in Beauty as I like to call it. There are a couple of things that I would like to also include that were not the best for me. It just seems like an appropriate time when you're doing this kind of end of the month wrap up. Here's the findings. Some were good, maybe a couple were not so good. Got some curls trying to get into the mix here. I did some hot rollers today. I'm gonna be getting a haircut soon. I'm gonna be getting some layers put back in this. Not really an overall length change, but just, I don't know, making it a little bit lighter in certain areas. I have very fine hair, but it can't get very heavy, and then it makes it hard for curl to hold and blah blah blah. I think it will be more stylable if I have a few layers in it. But anyway, thank you for being here, and yeah, let's just jump in. I'm gonna start with a lip color that's kind of a rediscovered line of lip colors for me over the past month. It's the Revlon Ultra HD Mattes. Now, I saw in the store because I'd been sent a bunch of these semi-recently, and they were all these matte ones with the silver tube, and they just say matte right here. Now, recently in the store, I saw that they have some, I think, matte metallic and maybe something called super matte or ultra matte, but these are just the regular ones that came out, I guess, when this whole line first launched. And the shade HD Kisses is what I'm wearing right now. I just adore this color. This kind of rosy, really pretty, like wearable pink, but kind of has a little red infused in it. Love that type of shade. And I like the smell of these too. They're kind of, I don't know, they smell a lot like the Ultra HD lip colors, the skinny tube lipsticks. But what I can enjoy about these mattes is that they're not super drying. They don't have a 100% dry down. As I press my lips together, I can still feel a little moisture there. They're just, I think, really comfortable, but they give you that matte, kind of pillowy look to the lips. I'm more of a gloss person overall. I really mostly love the creamy and shiny and everything, but there are some gorgeous colors in this line. This is not the only one I love, but this is probably the current favorite. But another thing to note is that they're not going to be as long wearing as some other matte liquid lipsticks, or not as long wearing as a CoverGirl Outlast or something like that. So that's kind of the give and take of having something that's not too drying on the lips, that doesn't totally dry down and all that business. It is going to wear down a little quicker, but it also is not a pain to reapply. It doesn't feel too heavy on the lips if you do reapply, but you've got some remnants on there. So I don't know, I just think that's a real awesome product, but it's not really new. Here's another lip color. I can't believe how great these are. These are from MAC, and they're called the Grand Illusion Glossy Liquid Lip Colors. I don't love every shade in this line, and I know these have been around for some time. I've been sent some in PR, and I think I just imagined that they were gonna be liquid lipsticks. The glossy aspect of these did not register with me, so I kind of was hands off for a little while. But they're so cooling and beautiful feeling on the lips, and the appearance of the color is so pretty. My favorite shade by far is the one called It's Just Candy. I love the pointed tip to the applicator. You can see it's very opaque color, super shiny. There is a shimmer in this, and I think that's what makes it appear to be even more shiny, right? But these feel so nice. There's this unexpected kind of cooling sensation, which I've really got a thing for. And yeah, I just love that shade. That's kind of like a shiny, soft red, I'd call it. And it has a teeny bit of golden shimmer, and I would say for a glossy finish product, it hangs around an impressively long time, so love that. Here is a phenomenal primer. I love this so much from Wet n Wild. It's called the Water Drop Primer, and I talked about this. This was one of the few products in a big Wet n Wild review that I did recently that I really, really liked. I like the facial mist too, but there's something even more unique, I guess, about the primer, and they have this in a couple of other scents as well. They have the coconut and the rose. It looks like kind of an odd pea green color, but it just instantly melts down into the skin and feels so smoothing, so soothing also, and I love this cucumber scent that it has. So I've been wearing this primer a lot. I think it's given me a little additional moisture boost underneath different foundations, and I think my skin can use that, so love that stuff. Also, foundation-wise, I kind of have two very different foundations that I've been liking. I am one who can really enjoy the dewy fresh kind of foundations, but also the full coverage matte. I feel like there's a place for that in my life as well, and being a normal skin type, I can usually get away with either. The dewy isn't going to make me too much of an oil slick. The matte is not going to generally look too drying, especially if I take care to really like prep my skin well underneath it. So these are two that I think have just been fantastic. I wanted to follow up with you on the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Stick. I am loving this. You saw me use it for the first time in a Get Ready With Me video, and I said I'll be trying it more, I'll be following up. I love this. Again with the cooling sensation. You feel it a lot as it's just gliding across the skin off of the stick. It feels so creamy and wonderful, but I swear the staying power with this is really tremendous, even when I set it very, very minimally on the skin. Like I might just kind of set the T-zone, set my under eye area, and it still lasts really well. And I just love that it's kind of this stepped up coverage-wise version of their Complexion Rescue Tinted Moisturizer. The shade Cashew 3.5 is so good for me. I'm wearing that right now in this video. It just kind of ups the radiance level of my skin. It looks very skin-like. It's a strong medium coverage. Got a little mascara flake here. Sorry, can't ignore that. But it's not a real full coverage stick, and I feel like that's okay with me because it looks so darn pretty on the skin and so fresh. I feel like it's just right where it needs to be as far as easy everyday makeup goes, and I just enjoy the heck out of that. Also, it has a really tight cap, and I appreciate that because I think that's keeping it at its optimal creaminess level. Now here's the kind of opposite foundation to that I also like, and I think those of you who maybe are a normal to oily combo skin might really love this. And it's just kind of like another killer drugstore foundation that you can add to that full coverage mix of the, you know, the new L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear and the Maybelline Superstay Hard Candy Glamoflauge. Newly repackaged. I'm not sure how much the formula has changed because it's been a long time since I had used Glamoflauge before. It says 16-hour wear, oil-free. I have this in the shade Cool Beige. It has a doe foot applicator in there, a big one. Buckfoot we call these on this channel, and it wears beautifully, so flawlessly. Like I am in awe of the way this looks late in the day on my skin, and I think it looks great starting out too. Oh, I should have talked about application. I like applying this stick most with my Sephora Pro Mini Flawless Airbrush. Think about any kind of maybe slightly smaller sized dense brush that you have, because I feel like the smaller size gives me the pressure I need to easily blend out a cream product like this. As far as this one goes, Beauty Blender is great. I can still get full coverage using a Beauty Blender. I've used my Sigma F84 quite a bit with this one too. I don't feel like it sets too fast. The texture is kind of like, it's a little thicker than your standard liquid, and it just covers beautifully. And it's probably the least expensive fullest coverage option because I think this was around $6. So yay Hard Candy, doing great things with that. There have been so many like hits and misses throughout this line, but this is a major, major hit for me. Oh, you guys, so Laura Mercier has her translucent loose powder that everybody loves, but did you know that she's got a pressed version as well? And it is awesome, and it is so convenient, and it's just like the look you get from the loose, but the convenience of a pressed. And I use this all the time now, just setting my under eye area. It truly looks and behaves just like the loose. I think this did have like an Allure Best in Beauty award on it I saw on Sephora's website, but I love this. Love it for the T-zone, the under eye, just a light bit of setting powder there. It's not like it's really hard to use a loose powder, but my gosh, this is so like easy. I just dab quickly into it with a brush. I use it so much with my e.l.f. Small tapered brush. Got a hair on there. Just because that's the really easy way to get around my under eye. And just the certain areas around the T-zone where I know I can enhance my staying power the best, and boom, you're done. I don't know, some people just prefer pressed over loose. I can still get on board with the loose. I will still like use up what I have, but this pressed is so nice. Also on my face, couple of great things here. I have talked about loving that Dalton Golden Pearl Body Bronzer. I think it's a beautiful actual face bronzer. Love that tone, but I feel like I'm kind of getting that tone through another product that is pretty low cost here, and it's the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the Sculpting Bronzer shade. I have a hard time finding this shade online to link for you, but I found this at Walmart. That's where I bought it. It's a beautiful tone. I use it very lightly up around the hairline and to contour with sometimes, and I think it's just right. It's got, I think, an actual little bit of red in this tone that's making it look very much like natural sun-kissed skin on me. Now, this could go very, very dark. This could could be applied in a much more intense manner for deeper skin tones, but it's working great for me just in that light capacity. And gotta mention this, not a lot of y'all tuned in for my Sigma video where I gave my top picks from Sigma, but I think that brand is really bringing it in some certain ways makeup wise, not just about the brushes for them anymore. And this Sculpt palette is so nice. The sculpting shades, the bronzing shades are great, but on top of it, I use this as blush. That's what I'm wearing as my blush today, and this gorgeous highlight that I get asked about anytime I've got it on. Like, that is so pretty. They've done a great job with textures and finishes here, mattes on the bottom, shimmers on the top. I talked about it more in depth in that video and showed some application with it, but I'm super impressed. They put out a blush palette at the same time as this. That was what I was first drawn to because I'm like, ooh, blush, but this is really like, oh, it's deceptively good. I'm not always like so excited about a contour palette, but oh, we got snow on the ground this morning. Okay, good. But it makes a great, easy eye palette too, everything in here because of the mix of finishes and that highlight. That shade I wear as a blush, it's the one called Poppin'. Such a pretty blush, love. I forgot my concealer pick. Been loving this concealer. I think it is a great drugstore alternative to the Tarte Maracuja Creaseless Concealer, which I've often referred to as a super, super moisturizing concealer for the under eye area. So hydrating. And you saw this going on in the Get Ready With Me where I mentioned the Bare Minerals too. And this is from Pacifica and it's called the Liquid Cover Full Coverage Lasting Concealer. 17CL, is that the shade? Beautiful coverage, very, very hydrating for your under eye area. It does not take a lot of product. I reference the fact that it's kind of stringy when you take it out of the tube. You can see it kind of stringing back in there. And that's just that very like moisturizing, really hangs together kind of quality of this concealer. It does not actually contain mozzarella cheese. Just clarification there. But I am always gonna want to set that concealer. Maybe not everybody wants to, but I feel like I really benefit from just a light bit of powder. I still feel really moisturized there. It just makes me a little more comfortable with the wear of like eye makeup and stuff like that. Just a little bit fresher look for me. My last loves, and I kind of alluded to this in a video I did last week, my like what's old is new again throwback beauty stuff, but I'm loving a simple eye look. Just like give me a quick look from a quad, and a couple of quads I've rediscovered have been the Walking on Eggshells one from Wet n Wild. Yes, going way back. It used to be a trio, right? Yes. And also Sweet as Candy. I'm wearing Sweet as Candy right now. Like, could it be any more simple and classic and easy? Sweet as Candy goes a little deeper than Walking on Eggshells and a little bit cooler also. Like I've got this in my crease, these two on my lid, this kind of in the outer corner, but an overall subtle look, but nicely pigmented shades here. And then Walking on Eggshells is a great little starter quad for anyone, like super subtle looks, a nice gentle sheen on the eyes. They're so simple. They're nothing like groundbreaking. They've been around for a while, but it just kind of fits my eye aesthetic right now, which is a light kind of simple eye and then put on some mascara that you really love and boom, simple look. Bold lip, even glowing skin, and to me that's like quick old Hollywood glam right there. The mascara I've been wearing still quite a bit is my IT Cosmetics Superhero, but I have about used it up. I can tell because it's starting to just flake a little bit, and it never usually does that, but I think it's drying out quite a bit. I could almost do an empties video. I've gone through some stuff here lately. But guys, I do want to mention the couple of things that didn't go so well for me over the past month. One of them is this Laura Mercier Flawless Lumiere Radiance Perfecting Foundation. Sad thing about this is that I think it definitely has broken me out. And the first time I used this, I don't think I put my finger on the fact that this was the thing, but then I took a gap and then I started up using it again, and I could tell that this was what was causing little breakouts, just random zits around on my skin, across my forehead, gave me a real look of like textured small bumpy pimples there. This happens very rarely with products on me, so that was disappointing. I can't say that the actual look of the foundation was mind-blowing anyway. I'm not really caught in some kind of, but I love it so much, but it broke me out. No, I can kind of like take it or leave it. There are so many things I love from Laura Mercier, but this one just didn't work. Also, I've been trying a lot of things from MAC. I'm gonna be doing at least 1 or 2 MAC related videos coming up. And this Studio Fix 24-Hour Smooth Wear Concealer, it's a semi-new release to their line. It's just a wand applicator version of their Studio Fix concealer. And this I find to be way too drying on my under eye area. I do not feel like this looks attractive on my skin by day's end or even like the latter half of a day. I look at it. We're not even talking like, oh, it had too much setting powder on it or anything like that, because I know that it does kind of have this dry down to it. And it doesn't really demand any powder on top like this might, but just enhancing the look of things that I don't want enhanced, you know, fine lines right in here. It just makes it look too obvious. If you're curious, I have this in the shade NW24 and I do like the coverage. I would say it's maybe not quite like Shape Tape coverage. I have to use a little bit more of this to achieve the coverage I want, but then it's a dry look overall. But that's it, my friends. That's my favorites and a couple of duds for the month of February. I can't believe we're already through February. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to you again very soon. Bye.